So, welcome. In this session, we'll talk about women led development, specifically the leadership in the fields of Panchayati Raj with NGOs, with private companies, and the growth and development. So, we would be focusing on not just the constitutional frameworks but the overall economic growth and development. So, there are five important pillars that we would try to address. The first is women in leadership. Now, this talks about identifying the conceptualization of the role that women has with the leadership. The second is integrating it with the Panchayati Raj, where we say 1/3 of the seats were to be reserved for female members, both at the urban and the local bodies. So, under the 73rd and the 74th constitutional amendment, 73rd for PRIs, Panchayati Raj institutions, 74th for urban local bodies, correct? So, then NGOs and women development through NGOs and the role of women in NGOs, both of those have been important. Voluntary organizations, not just NGOs, voluntary organizations, civil society organizations, the various programs and policies which have been brought and the debates regarding these programs and policies. So to begin with, we would focus on the collaborative efforts and the grassroots level development that has been very important for development. So the idea is when we focus on leadership in any form, it's not just a token leadership, right? There have been phrases like Sarpanch Pati. Now that term specifically means that despite the fact that there are women sarpanches, the real sarpanch is the husband of the women who is running the panchayat, right? Those kind of barriers have to be removed, and the real leadership has to move beyond the tokenism or the symbolism that occurs. Now, whenever we talk about bringing in leadership, there are two important phenomena that we understand. One is glass ceiling and another is sticky floor. Now, understanding both the terms is important. Glass ceiling is just a mindset or a barrier where it's just a glass, you do not want to see beyond it, as simple as that. So it's important to understand that when we talk about glass ceiling, there are certain restrictions which are not allowing women to move beyond a certain level, and that's just a mental construct, a mental mindset. On the other hand is the sticky floor. Sticky floor, as the name suggests, the women are usually trapped into low mobility, low paying jobs, and therefore they are a sticky floor because they are either in a low power role or low wage role that they cannot go beyond to. And then the leadership is of two types: transformational and transactional. When I talk about transformational leadership, it's just that we are trying to enter into a political or a social system and bring in a rapid transformation. So transformational basically talks about bringing in change, welfare, focusing on long term, short term goals. On the other hand is transactional. Transactional is more of a barter system, so it's give and take kind of relationship that exists, and this type of leadership actually uses extrinsic motivation. It's not driven by intrinsic motivation at all. There are external motivating factors that make actually a leader transactional. So this goal could be achieving a short-term performance goal, a financial goal that could be reached by the organization, or to maintain the status of the organization as it is. So maintaining that status quo is again important under a transactional leadership. The next important is a very interesting term you must memorize, and that is the critical mass theory. Now, wherever there are women who are from the marginalized community, from the underprivileged community, they do not have their voice. Their voice turns only when it reaches a critical mass. That means if there is of 100, there is one woman, her voice won't be represented. But if there are 30 to 35 women united together for the same cause, their voice would be heard. And that is what we call as a critical mass, a minimum mass. The same term as the which we use in a fusion and a fission reactors. So nuclear reactors, we talk about the same thing. It's a critical mass that needs to be achieved before the criticality, that is before the fission reactions should occur. So the same here is a critical mass should occur where the women voice is being heard, and that critical mass is somewhere at around 30 to 33% of the representation, and this is specifically true for the women from the underprivileged, marginalized communities, or where there has been a gender, caste, religion, ethnicity, some sort of biasness that has existed, and there is an intersectionality of those biasness. Now, when we focus on leadership, there are definite barriers to it. The first and the foremost is definitely a patriarchal social system which does not allow women to move into the public spheres of life and restrict the role of women to the private spheres. The next is the resource deficit. Now, more importantly, there is lack of financial independence, and then that itself is one of the reasons that lead to reduced participation of women at a bigger role. Then the unpaid care. We have seen throughout our lectures, we have discussed this, that there is around 6 hours of unpaid labor that on an average a woman devotes at home, in contrast to 1.5 hours which is devoted by the male member of the society. So this burden of unpaid care not only just add to the workload, but it creates what is called as a double burden, because there is a burden where the outdoor role of being productive and a domestic role of being a mother, a family person has